The top 10 richest artists in the world. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out. Hello Aluxers and welcome back. Today seemed like a great day to talk about the top 10 richest artists in the world, so that's what we're gonna do. You guys have been asking for this one for a while now, and it's finally here. The reason we waited so long to make it is because, to be honest, this list is incredibly volatile, meaning it can change every year, mostly because the artists themselves get involved in different projects that help increase their earnings and overall net worth year over year. So we figured now is a good time to make the list and showcase the richest of the rich in the world of music, dance, and other forms of art. And without making this intro any longer than it needs to be, here are the top 10 richest artists in the world. Number 10. Mariah Carey, $534 million. This one's considered to be one of the greatest singers of all time with a slew of recognition titles, totaling 333 as of 2020. Quite the achievement list. Mariah's success comes from her unique voice, which helped her create hit after hit her entire career, making her almost as relevant today as she was back in the early 90s, when her first 5 singles became #1 hits, a feat which is very rare. And to top it all off, she also holds the record for the most chart-topping singles. Besides her remarkable musical feats, Mariah also supplemented her massive net worth with profits from live appearances, acting, real estate businesses, among others. And as a fun fact, there's one particular song that made her over $60 million in royalties, a song that's heard over and over again Christmas shopping. Can you guess which one we're talking about? Number 9. Madonna, $580 million. Known as the Queen of Pop, Madonna has been around for what seems like forever. She made an impact when she came to the music scene in the early 1980s, and ever since, she's dominated the industry. Madonna is the proud owner of 7 Grammys and hundreds of other awards, honors, trophies, not to mention the holder of 2 incredible records as the best-selling female recording artist of all time, and the highest-grossing solo touring artist of all time as well. All of the above are undeniable proof that she is one crazy talented lady who's had one lucrative career in the music industry, assuring her place in the hearts and minds as the greatest female artist of all time. Now, besides her career as an artist, Madonna's also a Golden Globe-winning actress, an author, fashion designer, movie producer, owner of Maverick Records, and owner of a series of health and fitness clubs. With profits from all of these ventures and her music career, Madonna cleaned house in 2019 and started 2020 with a whopping $580 million. Number 8. Rihanna, over $600 million. Ladies and gentlemen, bad girl Riri has made it to the top, as the richest female artist that is. On top of being a superstar in the music world, at 31 years old, Rihanna is also an actress, a style icon, and a businesswoman like no other. As a musician, Riri did quite well for herself. However, the majority of her $600+ million wealth comes from her lucrative partnership with luxury goods company LVMH, with whom she launched Fenty Beauty back in 2017. Now, according to Forbes, she's made an exorbitant amount of money in a very short time, which propelled her to a level few artists have ever reached. Soon after Fenty Beauty, she expanded into the fashion world with her Savage Fenty luxury brand, in partnership, of course, with LVMH. During the interviews, the head of LVMH, Bernard Arnault, was incredibly excited to work with Rihanna, saying that, "Everybody knows Rihanna is a wonderful singer, but through our partnership at Fenty Beauty, I discovered a true entrepreneur, a real CEO, and a terrific leader." If the second richest man in the world had this to say about her, it only goes to show just how incredible she is. Number 7. Bono, around $700 million. The lead singer of the distinguished Irish rock band U2, Bono is rapidly making a legend of himself. As a musician and songwriter, Bono has been incredibly successful ever since he formed his band back in 1978 when he was just 16 years old. With 12 released albums, sellout live venues, and an astounding 22 Grammys, along with other numerous awards. Going beyond his career in the music industry, Bono is heavily involved in business, venture capitalism, and philanthropy, along with social and political activism. He owns a vast real estate portfolio and a number of successful businesses, along with being a board member of Elevation Partners, a private equity firm that holds a stake in Facebook worth roughly $1.5 billion. Aside from that, Bono has been knighted by the Queen of England and has even been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize for his outstanding humanitarian efforts. Suffice it to say that Bono is a boss, no matter which way you slice it. Number 6. Herb Alpert, $850 million. We're sure this is a surprise for many of you, so let us explain. Alpert is a jazz musician whose ticket to fame was being the leader of the group Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, as well as being an executive in the music industry. Along with his partner Jerry Moss, he created in 1962 a record label known as A&M Records, which is notorious for signing Janet Jackson, Sheryl Crow, The Police, and The Carpenters. They later sold it in 1989 for a payout of $500 million, and a few years later they got an additional $200 million for breach of contract from the label buyers. On top of being a very successful artist with numerous awards, his other ventures include professional sculpting and a line of perfume. Number 5. Sean Combs, $855 million. To be honest, it's a pretty close race between Diddy and Alpert. Nevertheless, he was ahead of him by a stretch of $5 million. Sean does just about everything from rapping, producing, songwriting, to acting and dealing with real estate. And on top of that, he's an incredibly successful entrepreneur who has many lucrative ventures under his belt. A fashion label, his cable network Revolt, but the main driver of his fortune is his vodka brand, Ciroc. It's as if Diddy has some sort of magical business powers because most of the projects he gets involved with are almost like they're predestined to be successful. Number 4. Dr. Dre, just under $900 million. There's no one on this list who's impacted rap, music, and the culture of the US as much as Dr. Dre has. From being a member of the NWA hip-hop group and owning and operating Death Row Records, Dre has also launched multiple superstars such as Eminem, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Kendrick Lamar, Exhibit, and The Game. Although he's only released 3 studio albums under his own name, he has produced dozens of singles and collaborated with numerous other artists on their albums, earning quite a bit of money from that. However, the majority of his wealth comes from his stake in Beats Electronics. In 2014, Apple bought the whole company, which meant for him a massive payout, catapulting him to near billionaire status. It made history, making it the single highest paycheck a musician has ever got. Also, being the savvy businessman he is, Dre also dabbles in real estate because why not? He's been immensely successful so far, so we might as well add real estate to his portfolio as well. Dr. Dre is sure to be more successful in the future and is on track to joining the billionaire club. And speaking of billionaires, number 3, Jay-Z, $1 billion. For those of you who thought Jay-Z would be number 1, sorry to disappoint, but top 3 is still astounding, especially considering we've entered billionaire territory. As one of the most awarded artists in the music industry, his name is synonymous with success. However, the majority of his wealth comes from his clever investments in clothing lines, record companies, nightclubs, just to name a few. Now, we're not going to get into detail with Jay because we've already covered virtually everything about him in our recent dedicated video, how Jay-Z became the first billionaire rapper, so go check it out by clicking in the top right corner. Number 2. Andrew Lloyd Webber, $1.06 billion. And bringing home silver is maybe someone you've never heard of, but you've definitely heard his music. Andrew Lloyd Webber is a British composer and theater impresario who's written the music for some of the greatest plays in history, such as The Phantom of the Opera, School of Rock, Jesus Christ Superstar, Evita, and so many more. All these plays are currently being performed all over the world, and some have for many years now, which provides Andrew with profits from everything related to his products: soundtracks, merchandise, film adaptations, and ticket sales. Not to mention he banks on royalties from 2 songs he wrote for the King of Rock himself, Elvis Presley. He's also been knighted and has received far too many awards for us to name here, some of which include Tony Awards, Grammy Awards, even an Oscar. Number 1. Paul McCartney, $1.2 billion. And here we are, Aluxers, down to the number 1 spot. Sir Paul McCartney has been a legend in the music industry for over 60 years now. He's seen and done it all, so his billionaire status shouldn't be a surprise. Both he and John Lennon shared the writing credits for all the songs made by the Beatles, and considering they are the most successful band of all time, that pretty much guarantees a lifetime of riches. As of 2020, this multi-talented artist has written or co-written 32 hit songs that made it to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Also, his song Yesterday has been remade by over 2,200 artists, which technically makes it the most covered song of all time. And since we're talking about mind-blowing numbers, Paul McCartney is reported to have under his belt over 25,000 copyrights. Yes, you heard that right. At the age of 77, he's still touring and still collaborating with other artists, most recently with Kanye West, which adds up to his massive gross earnings. He's also been knighted and honored in pretty much every way possible, musically or otherwise. Like we said, he's seen and done it all. And Aluxers, that's a wrap on the top richest artists in the world. Were you surprised by who took #1? Let us know in the comments. And of course, for sticking with us until the end, here's your bonus. As we just said, the Beatles, as you know, are the most successful band of all time, and it shouldn't surprise anyone that they're also the richest. And even though the only members still alive today are Sir Paul McCartney and Sir Ringo Starr, they still managed to accumulate well over $1.5 billion. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to Alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.